Okay, so save yourself because nobody actually cares about you. Save yourself time, energy, life, and watch this video. I'm being honest. Everything I say, it's from my personal experience. It's real life. It's raw, no lies. It's from my own experiences. It's what I saw in my family. It's what I saw with relationships with my friends and everything like that. So it's going to be very, very honest. Today we are going to talk about great situations in life that you can actually win in. Okay? It was like a sad day for me today. It was raining in my place. And some bad memories came back to me, and I just was a little bit sad. And then I thought, 1 year ago, I was in a very bad place because I trusted someone and I wasn't in a good place. I just created many situations I couldn't win in because I really trusted a man who I thought loves me and would never hurt me or stuff like that. How wrong was I? Okay. So what do I mean create situations in life where you can actually win in? I mean be independent. Don't ever trust anyone 100% that's going to be there for you. You have to be there for you. You have to be there for yourself. That's first and foremost. Be there for yourself. Have a career, have a business, have a job, have your own income, have a money. So whatever bad happens in your life, you can actually, just go away and you don't have to really deal with any BS. Whether it's like in a job or your man is doing something wrong to you that you don't like, you can actually shut the door and never look back when you are like independent. So be independent because you are a grown woman, and be independent because actually then you can just leave. You don't really care. You're out of the place, and that's wonderful. It's a blessing day. If you can do that, that's really wonderful. And if you are dependent on a man, on whoever, people will use it. People will think, oh my God, she's so dependent on me. I bring everything. She doesn't have anything. She doesn't have money. She cannot do anything. So people don't respect you when you are dependent. People don't respect you for that because they know whatever they do, you just have to stay. You just have to take this BS because where would you go? What would you do without no money, no job? Well, they know it. And my story is like my father is an alcoholic. He always was. And my mom actually couldn't leave. So my father was an alcoholic, and I didn't have peace growing up. I didn't feel safe growing up. And, I'm a little bit traumatized for what I went through as a kid. And I also was bullied at school. People didn't like me at school because I was so shy. I would not communicate, and I would not communicate because I didn't feel safe. I was going through hell at home, and yet in school, I was going through BS as well because people were bullying me, cutting my hair, talking some really bad stuff about me, insulting me, and teachers didn't do nothing about it. And I just learned that people are not to be trusted. And I was as a kid, I was very traumatized. When I think about myself as a kid, I'm just gonna cry because I was so lovely. I was so sensitive. I was a beautiful soul. I wanted to be friends with everybody, but at the same time, I was afraid of people. I was so shy to the point I would not talk to anyone. And people were, like envy me for it. They didn't understand my friends, from my class, from school, did not understand my behavior. Actually, they thought that I feel better. Like maybe they thought that I think I'm better than them, but in reality, I was so afraid that somebody would say, "We don't like you. Get out of here." And actually, I was afraid of that. And people were talking to me like that at school when I was like 8 years old, 7 years old, 9, 10, 12. It was going for a few years. You know, in high school, people liked me. In high school. But before high school, I was not really liked, and people like were hating on me. Like I thought somebody's gonna do something to hurt me after school because I thought they hate me. And I do nothing for them to hate me. And I was working on myself, my traumas, my wounds, and I just realized, and which is very obvious, that all of this stuff came from my childhood. It's just my father thing, my mother thing, and you know, just things in general that I went through at home. So if you are growing up in a toxic household, you know, this message is especially for you, but it's absolutely for all young girls who think the world is so beautiful. And, you know, it is, but you just have to be careful, and you just have to think about yourself, create situations where you can win in. So don't trust men 100%. Be independent, because you never know what's going to happen in life. This man can do whatever, you know. He can cheat on you, he can abuse you, he can insult you, he can just, you know, say anything to you, and you cannot leave. Can you imagine the pain? And you have to put up with this. You cannot just shut the door and leave and have peace, because you are dependent, and that's actually your fault. And I was at that place like 2 years ago because I trusted the wrong man. And I was attracting guys like that because my father is toxic. You know, we all are toxic to some degree, but my father was an alcoholic. He still is an alcoholic. And when I was going through some BS with my ex-boyfriend, he helped me. He took me to his place. It was like good for a while, and then he started drinking again, and I went through the same thing as a child, and I went through the same thing as an adult now. And I just said, oh my God, I'm so dependent. I have to get myself together and work and do something, make money so I can leave, because this will never stop. When you are dependent, people will victimize you over and over again. Trust me, you don't want to go through that. I've been there. I know what it's like. You're growing up in a toxic household. Your friends have this, like, you think normal families. You're comparing yourself to them. You feel like an alien. You feel worse than. You feel like everybody else has a perfect family. Like, you know, my friend's father is the best. You know, my friend's father is like the father that I would like to have. I know what you're feeling right now when you are growing up in a toxic household, whether it's your father or mother, it doesn't matter. I know how you feel because I've been there. But do you want to feel the same as an adult and going through this again, this time as an adult? I'm assuring you, you don't want to, I'm sorry. I'm assuring you, you don't want to go through that twice. As a child and as an adult person. As you'll be traumatized, victimized once again. Nobody wants that. So when you are from a toxic household, believe me, there's no one to actually help you, and nobody actually cares. You cannot depend on your family because they are like, you know, but they have this bad behavior, and maybe they're toxic. I don't like to call people toxic or narcissists, but okay, let's say they are toxic. You do not accept the things that they are doing. They're hurting you, abusing you in some way, to some degree. You know, just do your thing. Be independent. And young girls, 20 something years old, I know you want to party. I know you think the world is like, you know, everything fun and you want to date guys, but you have to think about yourself. Make money, have your own career, you know, have a business. Just do something with yourself so you don't have to ask for help. And never, ever, because that's the worst thing that would, you know, if you have normal parents, that's okay. Okay, and even if you have a normal parents, you cannot really truly depend on the man 100% and trust him 100% because he's gonna use that. When you have a boyfriend, husband, he works so you don't have to save his money. He's giving you money, save it. Do not spend the whole thing. Go find a part-time job, start a business, do something to actually make your own money. Because when you're making your own money, this man will actually just, you know, if you're making your own money, this man will actually respect you more. Because when you don't have any money, you don't have any income, you have nothing going on in your life, you don't try, you're not ambitious, whatever, people will not respect you. He won't respect you for that. Okay, so you just have to do something with yourself. Look good. You can monetize your beauty. You know, I saw this TikTok the other day when men said that if you're a pretty girl, you can monetize it. And like 90% of the comments was like women asking how to do it. Well, you have to be smart. You have to be creative. How to monetize your beauty? Let's say you're a very beautiful woman. And people want to look at you. Maybe start something on the social media. Maybe start selling beauty products. Maybe be, I don't know, a model, a photo model, something like that. You know, women are not creative. They are not that smart. They need some ideas how to monetize. You can monetize actually anything. And for example, let's say we have a beautiful woman. So let's say you have a beautiful girl, she looks like Angelina Jolie or whatever. She's very beautiful, but she's not smart. She's not creative. She doesn't know how to monetize her beauty and she doesn't know her value. And let's take average looking girl, you know, and she is making tons of money because she knows her value. She knows how to monetize. She's smart and she's creative and she won't take your crap. You know, not everything is about looks. You have to look put together, but you don't really have to be beautiful, like out of this world. Many people are not beautiful. Many women are not that beautiful and they are still making tons of money. How? Because they are creative, they are smart. They're using every opportunity to make money. So even if something bad happened to your life, something very traumatic, you can monetize it. You can tell a story about it on TikTok. You can go viral on TikTok like in a few days. And when you are talking about something bad that happened in your life, people want to hear it because they're curious. You can monetize like people being jealous, people being curious, and people feel sorry for you. So when you tell something positive that happened into your life, people are going to be jealous, which will create engagement in your videos. If you say like a sad story, something that bad happened into your life, then people will be sorry for you and they will be curious. This will create engagement in your videos. So you can monetize your beauty, you can monetize your traumas, you can monetize the positive things that happened. You can monetize literally anything. You just have to get here on social media, show your face, do not. And like I said, you can actually monetize everything. So if something bad happens to you, you know, create from negative stuff, create positive stuff with money, just making money off of it. Please write a book. Tell us about it. People are going to be curious. People want to hear it. You're going to have haters. But does it even matter? If you are dependent right now on a man or whoever you are dependent on, you have to do something about it. Find a part-time job. Talk on YouTube about something.